I want to shoot my whitetail with an iron will wide. Welcome to the Always Be Tinkering Laboratories. I have a later whitetail season than you guys, so I have to sit here and watch social media. You guys are all in your tree stands, elevated. Bucks are checking scrapes and chasing does. In Washington State, we opened November 25. That is so late, right? This is an Easton Axis 4mm long range. I do like the GPI on those. It's 300, it's 4mm. You see this one's got the titanium from Easton. I think that's 55 grains. It's a half out. This is my Easton 4mm Pro Comp, and it's got a deep 6 iron will, so it's got the Snyder core with the hit, and then it's got the sleeve or collar for this outside diameter OD, and it's got the iron will 125 fill point. So I was thinking, I wonder if I could run something like that with the Axis, and then I'm waiting for some iron will wides to get here. I want to shoot my whitetail with an iron will wide. I've not used those on any animals before, so we're gonna do that today. Here we go. So the cool thing about the Ord Creek guy is that he makes these wraps. Now, I'm not a huge arrow wrap guy, but I do like that it says ElkShape, so I'm gonna do it. It's also easier to, get vanes to stick or whatever. But Ord Creek Archery, you have to put in the specific arrow because he wants no overlap, which I think is really cool. So no overlap on the arrow. So the wrap is made specifically for your arrow. 4mm, 300 spine, like all that matters. And I think we're gonna carry these on the website just because they look cool. And a lot of guys like wraps, even though maybe Josh, my buddy Josh Jones, hates them. I've always ran them until I stopped, and I'm gonna go back to it, I think, on this setup just to try and tinker, And I'll show you guys a couple of designs, and maybe you guys can comment below if I should carry them all or none, or maybe one specific kind. 8 grains. There's our collar, specific for the 4mm. Do some waxing. So this whole thing weighs 135 grains. This is 25 grains, and then this is that Snyder core. It's connected. So this just adds a lot of structural integrity going into the arrow. It really is nice to be able to switch out components. It's something you're not going to do if you use a cyanoculite. Like, that stuff will stay, and it's just, this is cool. You can swap stuff out. And I've had good success with like none of this coming off in targets or anything, but I don't shoot bag targets. I don't know about bag targets. That's why I love Hot Melt. You can index the broadheads. I want this broadhead to be the uniform all orientation. So this cut on contact from iron will, I want it to be perpendicular to the cock vane, and I'm gonna make sure they all look that way. Okay guys, we are building an arrow for late season whitetail here in my home state. I got some options here. I'm gonna make sight tapes for each one, and I'm just gonna try to, the cool thing is I can show you how I make sight tapes at home. I'm gonna use a different software other than Archer's Advantage. I think this one honestly is better, and I will dive into that here in a second in this video and give you step by step on how I make these sight tapes. These sight tapes are cool because I can make them for here where I live in Washington at 2,000 feet, and then I can take that same setup and I can calculate where I'll be hunting at. A lot of times that's at 9,000 feet, or maybe I'm going to Total Archery Challenge Big Sky where it's like 8,500 feet, and I can make sight tapes specifically for that. I can make cut charts, which is awesome for just a quick reference, because shooting steep uphill and shooting steep downhill, those distances, those those very little nuance, off a yard, off 2 yards. A lot of times when I'm shooting uphill, I need to only shave maybe a yard, and that's with a rangefinder with an inclinometer built into it, and it's giving you cuts already. I need to shave a yard or 2 off that. A lot of times on those steep downhills, I need to shave 2-3 yards off of what my rangefinder is even telling me. Starting off, this is an arrow that I built on the video. I'll link it right there. This is the most expensive arrow that I've ever built. It is a pro comp. It's pretty bougie. I don't know the GPI off the top of my head. You guys can comment below, but it is a 300 spine. I don't have an arrow wrap. I have an IP4 knock. It is a 4mm. I have the AE hybrid HPs with a max helical. I do want to say, for the record, a lot of my videos in 2022 had a lot of parachuting in our long distance shots. I have seen 0 parachuting with this vane configuration, running a crazy helical, getting my arrow to spin probably a lot more, a lot faster, and spin a lot more downrange, and I'm not getting any parachuting whatsoever. I'm getting the crispiest arrow flight I've ever gotten. You guys probably noticed that. And then I have a single bevel. This is the Snyder core, so it goes all the way down to the bottom. We have a collar, so this total arrow weight is 433 grains. It's a single bevel with bleeders from Iron Will. FOC is 16.6%. This is a badass arrow, and so I'm thinking about running this arrow. One of my bows is already set up for this arrow. Next, I have 2 Easton Axis match grade long range. This one right here has an ElkShape arrow wrap. Comment below. I'm using an arrow wrap. This wrap weighs 8 grains, and then the AE hybrid HPs only weigh about 15 and change. 16, I rounded up to 16 grains. And this is with the max helical. Again, an IP4 knock from AEE, and the single bevel with the Iron Will collar, the Snyder core system. Total arrow weight 439. And the GPI on this is 9.3 or 9.4. That's grain per inch. FOC is 15.3. Other than that, man, it's a pretty sweet looking arrow. So I'm thinking about running this guy. And then the arrow that I kind of want to, I'm leaning towards using this one the most, to be honest, but I got to test flight. So this total arrow weight is 485 grains, so it's going to pack a punch. It's got the Iron Will wide, solid, single bevel, so it's going to put a huge hole and do a lot of cutting as it spins through that whitetail. It's got an Easton titanium. Oh, by the way, that broadhead, this is a standard, so it's not a deep 6. It weighs 150 grains. And then I have the Easton titanium half out that weighs 55 grains. And then this is the Easton Axis. It is, oh, it says right here, the GPI is 9.4. And then I have 4 vanes, max stealth with a little itty bitty offset to the right, probably 2 degrees to the right. And then this is an Easton knock. So this is what this arrow looks like. And I probably will throw the IP4s in these as well, just because that's my style. And so I'm going to test flight on all these, and I'm probably going to shoot them out of the lift. And I got to get ready for whitetail. And I want to show you how I build a sight tape. Let's go. Okay, so all you need to get this sight tape, you want to chrono your arrow, which I'm going to have to do tomorrow. I like to do chrono outside during daylight. Can't really do it indoors. It'll get an air on my ghetto one. Lab radar would be awesome, and then I think Garmin's got a new one. Comment below if you shot the new Garmin one. It's got a name I can't ever remember. So we're going to put this in the drawboard. You could have your wife or a buddy help you get these numbers too. So there's full draw. We're going to measure from the center of your peep to the center of the arrow. Well, there's 4 inches on the nose. I got to write this down. Next, we're going to measure from the peep to the pen. That's 25.25 inches from my peep to the pen. I want to say one thing about these match strings. I put them through hell all of September, and they look fine, and the bow is still in time. And I am super proud of Matthews for stepping up their game on their strings. These are match strings. So the next 2 things I need to do is tomorrow when it's daylight, I'm going to take 2 distances. You can also do 3 distances. You want to start around 35 or 40 yards for your first. So I'm going to try to sight in 40 yards, and then I'm going to try to get out to at least 100, maybe 90 is about as far as I can shoot at my house here. And I'm going to get those absolutely perfect. Let's pray for no wind so I can finish this video up tomorrow. And then I'll get those 2 sight distances, and then I'll take this guy, which I bought off Amazon. It's digital. and I will measure the distance of those 2 points. And I'm gonna be able to put all this information into the software. I'll show you guys here in a second, but I'm just telling you, we will shoot these broadheads and see, just check their flight and see how they're doing. This bow is tuned, it's in time, it's ready to rock, and we're gonna get in a tree stand here. We're a little late to the party here in Washington, but I wanted to bring you guys along. All right, this is most likely the arrow I'm gonna use for whitetail. It's gonna pack a punch, 485 grains. It's the Axis match grade with the titanium half out. I'll be running those iron wheel wides. I have 2 configurations, one 4-vein and one 3-vein. This is the 3-vein, so it's gonna weigh probably right around 476. Either way, 273. 273 is still pretty freaking good for a guy with a 27-inch draw length and an arrow that weighs 485. 75-pound mods, 27-inch draw length, 80% let off. This is the Axis 4mm match grade. Total arrow weight 439. 281. Last is the Pro Comp. 284. Okay guys, here we go. We're gonna test the arrow speeds. We got good daylight, we got an okay chrono. This is an important part of getting these sight tapes built. 485 grain total arrow weight, 273, 439, 440 grains match grade with the wrap. Iron Will Snyder core, 283. Next is the Pro Comp with the Snyder core, 3-vein helical, 433 is the total arrow weight. 285. And then lastly, this is just for S&Gs. This is the arrow I use for elk, 425. 291. The light is super sensitive with the chrono, so the first set of numbers were with a lot more shade. The Axis 485, 270, and then in the bright light I got 273. In the Axis 439 total arrow weight, I got 281 in the shade and 283 in the bright light. The Pro Comp 433, I got 284 and then 286 in the bright light. I got 288 and 291 in the bright light with the RIP TKO. I just included that because that's the arrow I used in the fall for elk, and I'm gonna try to get 2 marks, 40 and 90. Try to go 100 if you can. I can only get about 90 safely here, so that's what I'm gonna do, and those are the numbers, and then we're gonna use calipers to measure that distance, and then we'll go inside and build some sight tapes. Okay, we got a blank tape. Let's go find 40. All right, 40. Looks like it's a little hot. Ooh, just a little. Side up a little bit. Pretty much there. Take one more shot. Do you guys know how incredibly difficult this is to self-film with 2 cameras? And I only have one 150 grain fill point, so I'm having to shoot and pull. We're getting my steps in. Hell yeah. We got 40, we're gonna mark it. Now we're gonna back up to 90, which is why I have a giant backstop, because I'm just gonna have to guess. But I brought a little pen, I'm gonna put a little dot on my sight tape. 90 yards, your guess is as good as mine. Foam. Oh shit, that's probably bottom of the 10. We're gonna move it down a little, like a little. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get my one and only arrow. 90 yards down, 90 yards back. It's a little hot. Try that. That's gotta be freaking money. Left to right is perfect. It's in the very bottom of the 10. I went down too far. Cool. I think we're there. So let's mark it up. Okay, got it marked. We're gonna go measure with the calipers, and then we're heading to the office. I'm gonna build you a sight tape for this arrow. I'm not gonna do the rest of them. I don't have time for this, ma'am. I cannot film and do all this. I'll do it on my own time, but at least I'll get you the gist of how to use that precision cut archery software. Let's go. 0.8785 inches. Let's head to the lab. PrecisionCutArchery.com. Let's sign in. Here's my password. So we're gonna go lift. 2024 lift, 29.5. My sight, is going to be a UV slider. Peep height 4 inches. Sight radius 25.25. Create bow. Let's add an arrow. It's going to be 4mm Easton axis with titanium half outs. Arrow weight is going to be 485. Create arrow. Not sighted in. Let's click here. Sight in. Density altitude 2,179 feet. I will sight at 2 ranges. Launch speed 273. Range 1 would be 40. 90 yards. I will measure with the caliper. Measure 0.87. Sight in. Sight tapes. There she is. We can go sight tape settings. You could do right if you needed to. If you were southpaw, but we're left. Length, font size. Probably gonna kick the font size up. And then for down here, I want to remove the 3rd digit. And I want to, I'm not gonna do color print, but I want these guys in quite a bit. I don't want them there. I want 5-yard marks there, something like that. On the line for the 5s, I want them a little darker. Yep, there we go. That's pretty sweet. And print, and we should have our sight tape all dialed for our bow. Now let's head out and shoot some broadheads. Never on this channel have I shot 150 grain wides. This could be the broadhead for elk next year. I'm not even playing. I really want to shoot my buck with this. Leave a massive hole. 40 yards. Here we go. 3-vein helical max stealth. Fill point. I'll go pull. 4-vein, 40 yards, iron will, solid, 150. Fill point. Let's go check it out. Oh. What do you guys think? Both broadheads grouped pretty tight right here. Here's what I do know. I know that I want to use the Iron Will 150. This is a standard, so I'm going to have to use the titanium half out 55 grains to use the standard. I would prefer to run Snyder core with the 4mm all day, every day, just because of that shank, footer, collar system is just a little bit more solid. Digging the match grade a lot, actually, really digging the match grade 4mm axis. And then I'm going to keep the knock. I think I'm going to ditch the 4 veins. I'm going to ditch the max stealth, and I'm going to go with those hybrid HPs. They've just been working really well for steering fixed broadheads for me, and I've had 0 parachuting. What did we learn today? We learned that Dan's not afraid to put arrow wraps and 4 veins on the back of arrows. We learned that Pro Comps and Axis Long Range are awesome 4mm options. We got to check out the Precision Cut Archery and make a badass perfect sight tape. I showed you how easy it was to do that. This is all really fun tinkering stuff. I love bringing you guys along my journey. I have 5 days to figure my shit out because I'm going to be elevated in a tree stand, and hopefully I can bring that footage to you as well and show you the aftermath, what arrow I selected, and hopefully kill a nice big old mountain Washington State public land buck. Separations in the preparation. We'll catch you on the next one.